school. And yeah, you do get your kids at school or kids at other schools that you have videos of and they're sharing around. It might just be like, yeah, like a lot of people said, two girls hooking up or something like that. But yeah, in a few cases it's been more than that. You know, it's been a guy and his girlfriend or whatever, and they've decided to film it together for whatever reason. You know, she trusts him, or maybe, you know, she didn't know. And yeah, something was filmed actually. And anyway, the guy was, you know, passing it around school kind of thing. Pretty much.
So bragging?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like his trophy or something.
And did you and your mates confront him about it? What did you say to him?
Well, it was actually more her friends first. You know, they had more of a problem with it. Obviously, yeah, she didn't take it too well, you know. They broke up over it and stuff, and it was like, he was still sending it to people, you know what I mean? He wasn't deleting it, and it was at the stage where I'm pretty sure people told teachers, so a couple of the boys did go up to him and say something to him.
What does everyone else think of this practice?
It's making the guys kind of be a bit more disrespectful towards the girls. Like, you know, like that girl obviously was offended by that, and these guys think it's funny. Like, they're treating girls more like objects, and I don't think that's good.
I think that works both ways as well. With boys, that it's not just girls that are on mobile phones and things like that. It's guys that get caught out too.
Yeah.
So it does work both ways, but I mean sometimes your moral compass has got to come into it a bit as well. Like as you get older, it's a bit hard to understand as kids to sort of think of that. But when you're older, you should take a bit of initiative yourself and sort of go, oh yeah, you know, like keep it to yourself.
Josh Nuckstret, you're from the New South Wales Young Lawyers Association, and also you're a barrister. What's the legal situation here of young people filming and then sending on sex acts on their phones?
Well, a lot of it is illegal. If you take an example of two people who are having sex and then there's someone who's filming them, and then they use that video and then send it on to other people. Say there's a girl involved, she's 16, the boy is 18, and the person who's filming it is, say, the boy's mate. Firstly, the people who are making the film could be liable to up to 10 years in jail for that.
What about those who send it?
Well, the people who send it, they could also be liable for 10 years in jail. Even the people who receive it and keep it could be liable for jail time as well.
Have there been many cases like this before the courts?
I know that last year there were 32 cases in Victoria where teenagers were charged with what are called child porn offences, and there are others in other states as well.
What
Yeah.
about if, like, say it's just a guy and a girl, clearly, like, in a relationship and they're both over the age of 16, they're both filming it themselves? What happens then if, you know, whatever, it turns pear-shaped and gets sent around?
Generally speaking, even if the film isn't sent to other people, if any of the people involved are under 18, that's an offence, and it could be, you could be liable to up to 10 years in jail.
And has anyone gone to jail for this?
They have. I know of a case in Queensland last year where a schoolboy was jailed just for keeping a naked photograph of his 15-year-old girlfriend. So I think the issue is that people don't realise that the laws are really tough.
Saxon, do you reckon your peers know that that's the law?
Well, like, even myself, you know, I didn't know it went that heavy, but I guess people see it as, like, again, it's so easy to get on your phone. You don't think about it.
Kath Aubrey, you've worked as a sex educator. What would you be teaching young people about mobile phones and sex?
The law, first up.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, I think anyone who makes a porn video kind of under the age of 18 is mad. You know, I mean, I'm sorry to say it harshly, but if I were in school, I'd say, you know, just don't take those pictures because they could be on Facebook, you know, tomorrow. And, you know, did you want to really make porn for everyone? No.
Of course, there are plenty of cases involving over 18s as well. Mick, in your hometown, something happened. Tell us that story.
Yeah, there's a pub in Geelong, which actually isn't my hometown, but I lived there and did uni there. There was a girl who was caught in a lewd act with another bloke in the toilet, and she kind of got run out of town. Like, I don't know her personally. I don't even know her name or anything like that.
Because the images got out?
Yeah,
she was humiliated.
Everyone's phone, and I guess, like, the shame of, you know, what she'd done was just too much for her, so apparently she went to Queensland.
Michael Flood, that's a form of abuse, isn't it?
Well, I mean, one of the things that's going on here is that technology is making some very old inequalities worse. So there's this serious double standard here where girls who are seen as too sexually active are sluts, and guys who are seen as, you know, highly sexually active are studs or legends or players or Casanovas or whatever. And so the fact that you can now film, you know, sexual acts and distribute them means that girls are losing out in terms of their reputation, their status, and, you know, having to leave town, you know, in much more systematic ways, because the technology now makes it possible to damage someone's reputation in new ways.
Can the technology be used in a positive way? Clayton?
Yeah, I was in the Navy for about 3 years, and long time apart from partners, and a lot of my mates, that sort of to keep that closeness with their girlfriends, partners, whether it be males or females, used to just send intimate photos, leading photos, or full-on photos, and like, with a bit of writing back and forward, because it did help the closeness, like, or when you are back on the phone, just saying, "Oh, did you get my message?" and all that sort of stuff, and it sort of got you excited for when you would see your partner again, and it's a good tool. I think it's a very good tool, and it's probably even saved a few relationships.
That's interesting.
From what I've seen.
In what way has it saved relationships, do you think?
Well, I mean, I suppose instead of going out with the pub with the boys, like, say you'd spend the night in and send a few photos, and it'd just give you that little morale booster, just to sort of look at that and just go, "Oh yeah, I've got this waiting at home for me," you know. So it just gives you that little bit of happiness.
Tom?
It's naval applications aside, we can see what sort of people we're creating here. We had that charming character on the video who, to him, women are just sluts who take part in this thing willingly. And we're cultivating a new generation of Australians with that sort of mentality. And so, I mean, it's new accessibility through advanced technology just makes it all worse.
So you don't have to watch it.
And they've always been disrespectful people. They've always been disrespectful men and women, and I don't think that it's going to change that. I think there's always going to be assholes, and there's always going to be bitches, and that's just the way it is.
Belle, you've used the technology for positive reasons, in a positive way?
I've just found there's a friend that I have, and we met up at one point. We originally met online, then we actually met up for drinks, and nothing happened. We just established a friendship. And after a few months of just chatting and keeping in touch, it kind of progressed to flirting via text or even online chatting. And then it kind of progressed even further than that, sexual talk, then to photos, then to videos.
And how's it improved your confidence?
It's improved it so much that being intimate, actually being physically intimate with other people, because this guy that I do that with, he actually lives in a different part of the state, so it's not that we can sort of actually meet up and do these things. It's a distance separates us. So when I've been intimate with other people, I'm quite happy to say, you know, if you're just calling me for a shag, I'm not in the mood, or if we are hooking up, I want you to, you know, I want you to please me first.
Sorry, but surely human intimacy is gained through physical presence with each other. I can't see how it's going to...
Sometimes people Sometimes people are separated, yeah.
People wrote love letters.
Go back to like William Shakespeare and all that.
Yeah. I mean, well, love letters are a much more acceptable form of conveying affection for
Why is it acceptable? What makes that any different?
Slip the DVD in there.
So that's the thing. I mean, through literature, you can express your affection in good and
yeah, but a picture tells 1,000 words.
But
videos too.
But that's a purely sexual expression.
Can you type, or does it have to be by handwriting?
Why is it purely sexual? It can be, you know, beautiful and artistic. It doesn't have to just be someone sitting there going...
Oh, you can do that. You can you know, convey your affection for somebody through verbally recording how much you love them. But like I'm working on the understanding that your videos with your partner were done were done sexually, and I can't see how that's you know, indicative of a good and healthy relationship.
Let's find out what Belladonna, one of the world's biggest porn stars, thinks about phone porn.